Liz Truss has resigned as British Prime Minister after just 44 days in office. The focus now shifts to who will replace her. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson is among the names of potential contenders, and joining me live from London now is his father and former Conservative Party politician Stanley Johnson. Stanley, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. So let's get straight to it. Will Boris run?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, he is, according to your story, in the Caribbean, a lovely, lovely place to be, if you can't be in Australia, obviously. Well, I don't know whether he's going to run or not. I will say that if he did run, I, as a voter, like I am a voter, I'm a paid-up Tory member, I'd like to, I'd put some keen questions to him. I'd like to know, okay, you're coming back, Boris. If you come back, what are you going to do? These are the questions which one we want to put. I put them to any of the candidates. I personally think he is very, very well qualified to actually be that unity candidate you were just talking about. What went wrong? What went wrong is the ideological wing of the Tory party, the headbangers, if you like, decided they would test out their economic theory, the Trussonomics, if you like, and it went wildly wrong. I think Boris, as he comes back, is extremely well placed. He was a man who got Britain out of Europe, but he's extremely well placed to say, now, look, forget it. Brexit has been done. Our job now is to reoccupy the centre ground, and that will include, of course, moving steadily ahead with relations with the EU and other European countries. So I think he is a good place to do it.
Have you spoken to him?
I have exchanged messages with him. That is for sure. I am absolutely unaware of what his intentions are. Who can say? There's no way of saying, but you're absolutely right to say that they're candidates in the ring, and under the rules which were established after the last couple of days, two of those candidates will go forward to the very tiny electorate, which is the Tory party in the field. I think there are only about 160,000 members, and as I said a moment ago, I am one of them, proud to be so.
Have you urged him to run, Stanley? And is he open to it?
I can't comment. I just do not know. But I do know that he took his job extremely seriously when he was Prime Minister. He did major things. He did major things on the environment. He did major things in terms of international relations with the G7, with what we call COP26, which was the climate change summit, with Ukraine. These are major achievements. And don't forget also, he had a big hand in getting this country through COVID. Now, you may say, did we really need to spend 400 billion pounds? History will have to look at that. But Boris led the way there, and I think he was brought down by what I consider a fairly trivial incident.
Okay, well, it was the lockdown parties that killed him off last time, plus many accuse him of lying to the public. So how does he get around that, Stanley, if he were to go again?
Personally, I don't buy this lying thing at all. Yes, the police said it was a party, therefore you shouldn't have had it, and they gave him a fixed penalty notice. That party, by the way, June the 19th, 2020, was on his birthday. I know his birthday, June 19th. I don't think it was much of a party because I wasn't invited to it. And Boris maintained that he didn't think it was a party. Yes, the police said it was a party and he got a fine. But frankly, that's a bit like getting a parking fine.
Yeah, but he knew what he was doing, Stanley. He knew he was in the wrong there.
I just don't buy that. I just don't buy that at all. I mean, if someone passes him a glass of wine and he has a drink, they've all been working their socks off, and he's 3 weeks off, he's come out of hospital, and it's his birthday. Forget it. Forget it. Let's be serious.
Okay, let me try asking you this way. Do you believe that he can get the support of 100 MPs that would be needed?
Well, frankly, I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that at all. Each of them needs to get, whoever goes through the next round must have 100. Well, there are about 330 Tory MPs, so split it three ways and each of them would have 100. I personally suspect, were he to throw his hat in the ring, I personally suspect he would get 100 votes. But that's just me. And it's me because I think that this is a guy who will actually deliver quite a lot more.
Did you text him about that, Stanley?
I'm not going to text him about anything. I've no doubt he'll pick up Sky News. I've no doubt he'll be picking up Sky News Australia in the Caribbean. Sky News Australia goes all the way around the world.
I know it does.
He was Australian there. I've got 4 nephews, sisters Australia. I've got Australian relatives all over the place. I feel myself an honorary Australian. So
yeah. So on that, so is it sounding positive? Did you get the positive vibe that he's going to go again? And did you urge him to?
I have kept my head down. You know me. I never put my head up above the parapet.
Right.
It's not up to me to.
You'll leave that to Boris. Hey, if it's not Boris, then Stanley, who should it be?
I am perfectly confident that this, what we normally call this great party of ours, will find a good candidate who will calm everything down, reunite the party, not as well as Boris will, as I've just said, but I'm sure they will move ahead and it will move to the next election. I don't see any chance of having an election now. It would be an extremely bad decision for the Tory party to go for an election now. So whatever happens, we will not have an election until, I would say, 2 years from now.
How long do you think it'll be before Boris either rules himself in or out?
Well, I can tell you, it's perfectly obvious. Under the rules as established yesterday or even today by a gentleman called Sir Graham Brady, nominations have to be in, I believe, 12 noon on Monday. So frankly, you've not got long to wait.
No. So Boris has got to start campaigning. So has he started that already?
There's no point asking me. Absolutely no point asking me.
All right. I'll ask you about Liz Truss, Stanley. She's got the unenviable title now of being the shortest-serving British Prime Minister in history. Have you got any sympathies for her?
Yes, of course I have sympathies for her. Reminding me of a kind of shooting party, if you like, where everybody is gathered round and fars away. And because I'm an old-fashioned sort of guy, I minded that this is a lady as well. You know, for heaven's sake. Yes, it was difficult. It was undignified. You could say, you know, she asked for it, but again, it goes back to the ideology point I made. She didn't need to do what she did. She did come up with some major unfunded pledges, and of course the market reacted. She was killed by the market.
She was killed by the market, and just by her own decisions, and that of her chancellor, right?
Well, as I say, and this is where I think Boris has a real role to play, to say, look, you guys, you right-wing, ideological, anti-Europe people, you had your say. Look where it got you. Now we have to have something a little bit more orthodox. Fiscal discipline, working with our European partners, having a level playing field as far as trade's concerned. You know, it's no good saying Brexit will do it, we will do it. Brexit so far has not delivered a plus on the balance of payments. This is a real concern. And things will get worse if we allow our rules to, disappear while the other side keeps their rules, because they won't buy that for long.
Okay. Just a final one here, Stanley. I mean, the polls at the moment have got Labor so far in front, 20, 30 points in front. I mean, regardless of who does replace Liz Truss, have you got any chance of beating Keir Starmer at the next election?
Well, don't forget, the next election doesn't have to happen, as I recall, until May 2024. So that is quite a long time.
That's enough time, do you think, to turn it around?
I think it's plenty of time. I really do. Because look what happened. I mean, it's only December 2019 where Boris was returned with a majority over 80. Yeah. You see, so these things can come and go.
I've enjoyed talking to you, Stanley Johnson. Thank you so much for your time, and I think you've given me enough clues, by the way.
Oh, you do. Oh, I've made a mistake there. Then I thought I was inscrutable.
So Boris Johnson to run. That's what I believe anyway. Stanley Johnson didn't give me as much, but I'm reading between the lines. Stanley Johnson, good to chat to you. We'll talk to you again soon.